tell you a story this morning about how God used 4 men to rescue a nation. And not just any nation, but the nation of Israel. In 1948, on May 14, Ben-Gurion, the Prime Minister of Israel, announced, "We are a nation." It was as a result of the Holocaust and World War II. And there were 5 armies poised to destroy Israel the moment they became a nation. And sure enough, the next day the war started. There were only 600,000 Jewish people living in Israel at the time, and there were 50 million Arabs around that were committed to the destruction of Israel. Now, we couldn't have prophecy being fulfilled today if Israel were not a nation. So the fact that Israel's a nation is a miracle. But it looked really bleak. And the Israelis didn't have really much of an army. They had hardly any armament. And they had 4 airplanes. And these airplanes had literally been stolen from the Germans. But there were 4 Jewish fighter pilots that had fought in World War II and had seen action and had survived. And then they heard there was going to be a war in Israel the day after, or the very day that Israel declared themselves a nation. And so they actually went out and found 4 German aircraft. And they didn't have permission to take these aircraft, nor did they have permission to fly them. And they had to fly them into various ports around the world to get them into Israel. And so the war broke out, and Israel was attacked from 5 different directions. But the big army were the Egyptians. And they were rolling up the coast toward Tel Aviv. And they had about 10,000 soldiers, and they had over 500 vehicles. And Tel Aviv was like the very center, the capital, if you will, of Israel. And they were just a few miles away from Tel Aviv. And it just looked like death for this nation in one day. And these 4 guys got in these 4 airplanes that they had stolen and had flown illegally into Israel. But they actually weren't even sure they were going to work. But they took off with bombs, and these guys were good. I mean, one guy, he said, "I turned my plane upside down because the more velocity that you have as you're going straight down, the more accurate your shots are." And they struck the beginning of the Egyptian army and did significant damage. One of the guys got shot down. The other 3 got back. And the Egyptian army stopped. They said, "Oh, we didn't know Israel had an air force. We didn't realize that we were in this much danger. We can't advance to Tel Aviv." And in the end, Israel defeated them. And there are miracle stories. I wish I could tell you more. I mean, that's a miracle story. God loves Israel. And so, but these 4 guys saved a nation.